Welcome back, my friends. I'm Matt. This is Big Food from a Tiny Kitchen, the place where you go to see that you don't need a big space, you don't need a fancy chef's hat to elevate your plate. Tonight, we're doing a Highland shepherd's pie with a twist. This one is not going to be just Scottish. It is also going to be Irish. I know that that's not typical, but I think you're going to see that the flavors really blend. First thing that we want to do is get the oven preheated. I'm setting it at 425, but then there we go. We need to cook some lamb. We're going to reserve just a little bit of that fat though to make a roux, and we're going to thicken up some sauce with that. I'm going to grab a wooden spoon and just break it apart. Looking good. You can see that fat is already draining out of the lamb. We're going to render that down quite a bit. One of the other things I like about shepherd's pie, besides its awesome flavor and bold, rich flavor, I really love that it's a one-pot dish. Not to say that I'm not going to make a huge mess today and use way more utensils and other preparation than necessary, but that's what I do. Let that cook for just a minute longer. I'm also going to make a mashed potato, kind of traditional. For the potatoes, I just cut them to about that size. I've got a pot of water on to boil. Throw it in there. Boiling. There's got to be a better way. There is. I'm just not doing it. I'm going to drain the meat. Toss the meat in there. Salt and pepper. I want to cut up my aromatics now. That's onion, carrot, celery, a little bit of garlic. When you see me throwing things into the sink, typically I'm throwing it into a bowl. So I'm just going to saute the vegetables in that as is. Here I am washing my cutting board and I haven't done the garlic yet. I have an insanely clean cutting board just for garlic. I know, right? I don't know if you can tell, but I am just throwing vegetables all over this stovetop. Throw in the garlic here. Rewash my cutting board. And I've got about a cup of broth, but I'm going to add a half cup of Guinness to this. This is the part that makes it in part non-traditional. This is the Irish part. Irish is not Scots, I know. That becomes the liquid base for our sauce. This is the non-alcoholic Guinness, and it tastes great. For the moment, I want to get these out. You can see one of the carrots I dropped down there. But I'm going to throw this in with the meat here and all over the counter. Numbers. Okay, from the fat, from the liquid, add a little bit more of that back in here. I'll add just a little bit of flour into that. We're going to make ourselves a loose roux. And this just thickens the sauce. You want to make more of a gravy than you do just a liquid puddle. This helps do that. Then a tablespoon or so of tomato paste. You want to cook it off just a touch because you don't want that bright flavor to shine through too much. Looking good, yeah! I'm putting in an ounce. Slowly, of a very, very nice Scotch. I want to cook that off. This is going to add a smoky flavor to it. Whenever you add alcohol to something, you're not really going to get rid of all the alcohol. So beware. Alcohol can really overpower a dish quickly. Okay, get this recombined. This is that broth and Guinness. Just want to get the vegetables combined in there. I'm going to let that cook down just a touch. We're going to make our mashed potatoes. So this is kind of embarrassing. While I was doing all of this over here, I forgot the Worcestershire sauce. Let's add it now. While this is simmering, and I didn't forget this part, honestly. While this is simmering, I'm also going to add my herbs now. I'm going to add thyme and rosemary. And that's it. This is thyme picked from a garden, and it's got little sticks in it. So I'm going to try and pick the sticks out. For those of you who grew up in the 70s and 80s, you might remember other herbs that had sticks in them that you wanted to pick out. Children, ask your hippie parents what that means. Let's make some mashed potatoes. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. Yes, that is homemade butter. See my previous videos. Just a bit more than a 1/4 cup of whole milk. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I know a lot of American recipes would also add cheese to this. In any of the pubs I've ever been in, I've never seen cheese. Add in the comments below what your favorite shepherd's pie experience has been. This is looking good. Last thing that we do though is we give it a taste and make sure that it's something that we like. Rich and meaty and savory. Could use a little bit more salt and pepper though. And then I'm going to finish with just a little bit more Scotch. New spoon, fresh taste. That last little bit of Scotch just added a touch of smoky to it. And man, is it good. Wow. Okay. Add the peas. Let's mix that in. Turn off the heat. Now I'm just going to top this loosely because this is going to bubble up. And I don't mind if it bubbles up. All of those little mountains of potato, watch them. They're going to be awesome in a bit. I'm going to cook that for about 15 minutes. I'm going to check it, see how well it's bubbling. Probably finish it off under a broiler, depending upon what those potatoes look like. Remember those mashed potatoes I was talking about? And those, look at those golden peaks. Little crispy peaks there. Chef's kiss. Okay, I've let it cool for about 15 minutes. This is one of those one pot comfort foods that is absolutely incredible and warms your heart and soul every time you serve it. That little bit of Scotch, that Guinness, comes through with an extra depth, an extra bass note. That smoke. Okay, this one you gotta try. Remember guys, every time you cook, you elevate your plate. Go ahead and hit that notification bell down below so you never miss another delicious episode of Big Food from a Tiny Kitchen. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.